Okay, I wanted to just go through a little quick tutorial, hopefully, of the difference between notes and person notes and why you don't want to use the person notes if it's something that you want to keep in the long term. So I was reading somebody's comment who said, why are my notes disappearing? And this is information that is really vital to knowing the history of the client or whatever. So I'm going to just search for, hopefully, a contact record of mine so we can take a look at the difference between them and try and get to why you don't want to be using this. So I'm going to open up the record. Person notes, if you haven't seen them before, are up here in the navigation. It's like the third, fourth tab over. You see person notes. And what this person showed in their video or in their screenshot was just, it said null, null. What's happening there, the reason that that's happening, and there's been a lot of comments about maybe this, maybe that, but generally speaking, what's really happening is that you have a form somewhere that is putting notes here. So I'm going to save this, and then we're going to go, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this to say something like 1, 2, 3, test this test, right? Whatever, just a bunch of gibberish. Okay, so if we were to go into, I'm going to go mess with my contact us form really quick because it's the fastest way to figure this out. So we're going to go to contact us, and then let's say you have a form, and your form has comments, and I tell this comments box, let's see, I want to do an other, and I'm going to add a second comments box, and I'm going to tell this one to just put it in the person notes, which are going to be here somewhere. Let's see, what is your website, birthday, nickname, so many things in here. Notes, we're looking for notes. There's Academy notes, that's not what we're looking for. It's usually something like, let's see, it might be closer to the bottom. We'll find it. Append person notes. So append actually sounds like it should put that right in that same field without actually overwriting what's already there. Append meaning put it below the next one. If you're using an API and the API is not using append, then that note's just going to get written over. So I'm going to change this one to like 999. This is my new test. Let me just make sure. Pretty sure I put that on the one that said virtual work wife, but let's go look. Let's see, Michelle Bell. Oh, it was the one that said Queen Bee. So I'm pretty sure. Let's just make sure. Person notes. Yeah, Queen Bee. All right. Just want to make sure that when we do this test, we're testing on the exact same thing. So, right. So I'm going to do Queen Bee at Michelle Bell. And this is my new test. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now, if we're lucky, it just wrote it in the same spot right below this one. If not, we're going to see that it overwrote it. And if I left that blank, that's when you would see the word null. Okay, so let's go here. See, so this one did it perfectly wonderful, right? It just appended it right below there, which is nice. That's what we want. If you're using any other system, if you're putting notes in somewhere in a campaign and you're not using append, then you're using overwrite, which would mean that the next time I did that, it would just copy whatever I put there right over the top of what already existed. And when you see null, it means that the form or the tool that you're using is being told to overwrite it, even if there's nothing to overwrite it with. So in this instance of my form that I just tested, if I had left this blank, and I'll do it again, we'll just fill it out again, be at michelleball.com, and we'll do that 222, and then I'll just leave this one append blank. It should write the word null in there because I didn't include anything. There was nothing for it to append. So if there's nothing there, what's it going to put? Usually it will put the word null. when most of the time you see that happening, it is because you're using some sort of an API or using an outside tool that's inserting things in here. And that difference between append and overwrite is the reason why you're seeing junk disappear, or like not junk, quality content disappear and be replaced with the word null. Now, the way I would do it, the way I set it up for any one of my clients, is I don't use that append to person notes at all. If I want something to go into a note, I want it to go into the actual notes that are attached to the record here. Because here again, you're going to get so much more detail. And for this to actually make sense, I'm going to go to a different record and show you actually what it looks like when you use a lot of notes over a long period of time. So with that append box, you're not getting a lot of detail. You're not getting date, time, who did it, or if you are, it's because it's being put in there in one giant like run-on paragraph, right? And we don't really want something that's difficult to read, especially if you're trying to, like, if you're looking at that before you get on the phone to talk to a customer because they're a patient and you're looking at their patient history over the last 24 months. That's going to be really difficult to read in some long paragraph. Whereas if you use the actual notes, you get when did the note happen, who was the person that did it, and what's the description of the actual note. So in this case, you can see, like, this is over like 5 years, and these are notes of when I did testing with my nutritionist. These are when I submitted my results, my test results, and my lab results so that she could review them, or when we had an assessment, or when when we started a new program that I went on to a pay plan. All of this is here, and it's very detailed and it's very organized, and we're able to use things like descriptions in the title that tell us why. So this is a client note, this is a coaching note. There should be like admin notes when you have like support notes. We're able to like qualify what it is and make it a lot easier for you to quickly scan and find what you're wanting. Now, when you're filling out a form, you can't actually put in the note this way. You can't choose this note as that, but what you can do is put those notes into a custom field and then have your campaign do the rest. Right, so if I were to go into, let me go back over here because I don't want to do that in her app. If I were to go into a campaign, and then we'll just start a blank one. And let's say I have a form. I have a form, and in my form, I'm catching some sort of a note. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab a custom field. And it really doesn't matter what custom field right now because we're just messing around. But like, let's say I want to do friend's name. So that's my custom field. Let's pretend that's my note field, right? And now I want whatever I put here. This is like a temporary housing station for it. What I want to have happen afterwards is over here, I want to create a note based on why I did that. So if this is my, like post-patient review form, then over here, I want my note. So I'm going to open up this apply note, and I'm going to say it's an update, and I'm going to give it a name like, client, right? And I'm going to say post-patient, post-session notes, something like that. And then what I'm going to put here in the description is actually the merge field. Now remember, I used it was friend's name. Friend's name. So I'm just going to put that custom field into the description. And now my campaign, when I fill out that form, or when my customer fills out the form, is going to take everything that I said there and it's going to paste it into that permanent note. So the next time I have a patient fill out that form, it's going to overwrite the custom field, but that detail's already been moved from the custom field because it got done immediately after that was filled out. it got moved to the permanent note space. So this is a better, in my opinion, this works better. This is how I set up all of my clients. This is how I use all the notes in my own business to ensure that we're capturing what we want when we want it in a chronological order that's easy to review. That's all.